My name is Lucas, I'm 28 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the quiet one in the family, the dependable one, the reliable one, the person who could always be counted on to sacrifice without making a fuss. If someone needed a shift covered, I was there. If plans had to be cancelled so my parents could have help with errands, I cancelled them. If my siblings needed a babysitter, I showed up. It wasn't because anyone ever asked nicely or acknowledged the effort, it was simply expected of me. Being the oldest of three, I grew up not just as a brother but as something closer to a third parent. My dad worked a demanding job that kept him stressed and away from home. My mom treated family gatherings like theatrical productions, obsessing over every detail while leaning on me to handle the grunt work. My younger siblings, meanwhile, lived like royalty. They were spoiled from day one, showered with brand new phones, trips during school breaks, and insurance policies magically paid off by my parents. I'm not saying this out of jealousy, it was just fact. While they had their lives paved with privileges, I spent college delivering pizzas, rationing noodles, and hustling just to keep a roof over my head. For years, I told myself this was fine, that maybe I was just more independent, that my resilience was something to be proud of, but deep down, a quieter voice asked why I was always the one expected to sacrifice while my siblings coasted. That question haunted me. The first time I realized how deeply one-sided things were happened at a family dinner 2 years ago. I had just earned a promotion at work after months of grinding, sleepless nights, and weekends sacrificed to get ahead. I shared the news, proud and hopeful for even a flicker of acknowledgement. My dad barely looked up, muttered, "That's nice, son," and immediately shifted the spotlight to my brother's new car, a car my parents had partly paid for. My sister, smirking, joked that maybe now that I wasn't broke, I could fund her next vacation. Everyone laughed as if it were harmless teasing, but sitting there, I felt a knot form in my chest. My accomplishments, hard-won and deeply personal, had been reduced to a punchline. From there, the imbalance grew louder. I was expected to arrive early to every family event to haul tables, decorate, and stay late to clean up. My siblings floated in and out as they pleased. If I pushed back, my mom would guilt-trip me with lines about family unity or how being the oldest meant stepping up. My achievements were brushed aside, while my siblings' smallest successes were celebrated as if they'd split the atom. My brother passed an exam he had failed twice, and they threw him a surprise dinner. I bought my first car entirely with my own savings, and the only comment from my mom was, "You should have consulted your father, he could have found a better deal." The turning point came before my birthday earlier this year. My mom called casually, asking if I could help out with my siblings' bills for a while. She framed it as though I'd be some sort of family hero, but it didn't feel like a request, it felt like an assignment. When I hesitated, she sighed, "I just wish you'd be more of a team player, Lucas, family comes first." You know, I never actually agreed, yet in the family group chat, my name was tagged under a message. "Thanks for helping out, Lucas." My siblings added emojis, as though I had volunteered eagerly. I felt trapped. I sent money every month for 3 months straight, cutting into my own budget, sacrificing meals, even delaying some of my personal goals. And not once, did anyone thank me directly. The only acknowledgement came as another demand, my sister asking if I could send it a few days earlier because rent was due. It dawned on me then, I wasn't a son or brother to them, I was a safety net, a wallet with a heartbeat. The breaking point arrived one evening at dinner. My mom chuckled while saying, "Well, we wouldn't be able to keep this family afloat without Lucas, right?" For half a second, I thought she was acknowledging me. Then she added, "That's what being the oldest is about, sacrificing so everyone else can thrive." My brother grinned. "Guess you're basically our sponsor now." Laughter filled the table. I sat silent. My own birthday the year before had been forgotten because of my sister's engagement party. I had swallowed every slight, every dismissal, but that night something hardened inside me. It wasn't fiery rage, it was cold clarity. Soon after, my dad called, suggesting I start paying a fair share toward household expenses. Since I occasionally ate dinner there, I was already paying rent, utilities, and covering my own life. Now they wanted me to subsidize theirs too. That night, I opened an email I'd been avoiding for weeks, a job offer overseas. I hadn't accepted because I thought staying close to family was the right thing, but suddenly, staying didn't feel right at all. Before deciding, I gave them one more chance. At my sister's one-year engagement anniversary party, a celebration for something that wasn't even traditionally celebrated, I showed up early as usual, setting up chairs and lights while my siblings strolled in late with drinks in hand. When I tried to share a hint about my job opportunity, I was cut off. My mom shifted focus to my sister's potential promotion. My dad later raised a toast, "To your sister for making us proud," and to Lucas, always putting family first, just like a good eldest should. They smiled like it was praise. To me, it was confirmation that they saw me only as a role, not a person. The final straw came weeks later. My mom called and told me, not asked, to start sending a set monthly payment directly for my siblings' rent. When I hesitated, she accused me of being selfish and failing to lead by example. That phrase lodged in my skull like poison. Eventually, my dad even suggested I pay them rent to visit the family home, $300 a month. I didn't argue, I just hung up and clicked accept on the overseas job. That night, I promised myself I would stop being their ATM. But before I left, I wanted closure. I attended one last family dinner. Predictably, it turned into an ambush. They pressed me again about paying rent. I snapped, not with shouting, but with truth. I listed everything I'd sacrificed, every bill I'd covered, every time I'd been dismissed or mocked. My sister rolled her eyes, muttering about me acting like a martyr. I realized nothing would change, so I stood, told them I was done being the only one to sacrifice, and walked out. That night, I accepted my future. I confirmed the job. I began packing. My co-workers celebrated me, recognizing the reliability my family had twisted into obligation. At work, my efforts were strengths. At home, they were taken for granted. For the first time, I felt seen. But my family wasn't done. Before I left, they revealed one last betrayal. Years ago, I had co-signed a refinance for their mortgage. They never removed my name. If they defaulted, I'd be on the hook. My parents presented it casually, almost smugly, like it bound me to them. Instead, it gave me leverage. I quietly contacted the bank, reviewed the documents, and began the legal process to remove myself as co-signer. My family would be forced to refinance under their own credit, or face the consequences. At my final dinner before departure, I dropped the truth, calmly, firmly. I told them my name was being removed from the mortgage, that I would no longer contribute to their bills, and that I was done being their safety net. I even left an envelope listing every payment I had made on their behalf over the years, my final contribution. My parents stared in shock, my siblings sputtered with indignation, but I didn't waver. The next morning, I boarded my flight. Before takeoff, I sent one last message to the group chat with a photo of my boarding pass. "Take care of yourselves." Then I switched my phone to airplane mode. As the plane lifted, I felt the weight slide off my shoulders. For the first time in my adult life, I wasn't bound by obligation, guilt, or manipulation. I wasn't their bank, their crutch, their punchline. I was free. And as I landed in my new city, with a future waiting that I had earned entirely on my own, I realized something powerful. Family doesn't mean unconditional sacrifice. Family means respect, care, and reciprocity, and if those things are absent, then walking away isn't betrayal, it's survival. If my story made you reflect on your own journey, on the sacrifices you've made, the battles you've fought, or the freedom you're still chasing, don't just walk away in silence. Subscribe to my channel, share this story, and join me here for more raw, unfiltered truths about life, family, betrayal, and the strength it takes to rise above it all. Your support keeps these stories alive, and together, we can make sure no one feels alone in theirs.